Mubarak for you is my prayer. May you keep ascending success. Stay, Mubarak for you is my prayer. May you keep ascending success. Stay.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen. Amma ba'd. Fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalatu wassalamu alayka ya Rasulullah. Wa ala alika washabika ya Habiballah. Assalatu wassalamu alayka ya Nabi Allah. Wa ala alika washabika ya Nur Allah. Please also repeat after me, Nawaitu Sunnat al-Aitikaf. My dear Islam brothers and viewers of Madani Channel, whenever you're blessed with an opportunity to come to the house of Allah, the masjid, then the first thing that you must realize is that you're very, very lucky. Allah has chosen you. Allah has chosen you and given you the ability to come to His house. There are probably thousands, tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people that are not in the house of Allah. So you are the lucky ones, so thank Allah. But also in coming to the house of Allah, always trying to enter according to the Sunnah of the Prophet of Allah, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. The final messenger of Allah, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, would always enter with his right foot. And then our pious predecessors have said that if you make intention for nafli itikaf, then the duration that you spend in the masjid will be written in your book of deeds that you spent that time in itikaf. Hence the reason I should just say, Nawaitu Sunnat al-Aitikaf. By making this intention, you can make it in any language. We made it in Arabic, you can make it in English, you can make it in whatever language you wish, you can make it in your heart. But by making this intention for the duration that you spend in the masjid, they'll be written in your book of deeds that you spent that time in nafli itikaf. May I remind you, to eat, to drink, and to sleep in the masjid is forbidden. But if you make this intention, then all of these things become allowable for you and you get the reward as well. A lot of people think that itikaf can only be spent in the last 10 days of Ramadan. That is sunnat itikaf. Nafli itikaf can be at any time and for any period of time. And I use this example wherever I go, that if I was to leave my PC tablet here, I go out to the masjid and then I remember I've left it. I make intention the time it takes me to walk from there to here, to pick this up and to take it out. It'll be written in my book of deeds that I spent that time in nafli itikaf. Small amount of effort, but alhamdulillah, a huge amount of reward. There are also many blessings in reciting Durud Pak upon the Prophet of Allah, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. The final messenger of Allah, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, is reported to have said that whoever recites salat upon me 10 times in the morning and 10 times in the evening. You know, before I finish this, 10 times in the morning and 10 times in the evening. It's not a huge burden, is it? It's a small amount. If you were to recite Durud Pak upon the Prophet of Allah, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, just 10 times, how long would it take? 30 seconds? 40 seconds? All right, it's a long Durud Pak. 1 minute, 2 minutes, maximum. The Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if you recite Durud Pak upon me 10 times in the morning and 10 times in the evening, that person will receive the intercession of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the Day of Judgment. You know, people are looking for bargains, people are looking for good opportunities. This is the greatest opportunity. And we must make it part of our daily routine to recite salat upon the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know, as Muslims, there's a lot of things that we live in our lives where we're waiting for things to happen. Or we're wasting time. Muslims should not have waiting time. Muslims should not have wasted time. All of that time should be utilized. And one of the best ways of utilizing that time is sending Durud Pak upon the Prophet of Allah, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Who knows that one extra Durud Pak you recite today might make all the difference on the Day of Judgment. It is narrated that Sayyidina Ibrahim, rahmatullah, that he was a very pious person. Everybody knew him for his piety. And one night he spent in Bayt al-Muqaddas, and during that night he saw 2 angels. One of them said to the other, that who is this person? And the other replied that this is Ibrahim. The first angel said, is he the same Ibrahim bin Adam who has been removed from his station? Been removed from his station, meaning he had such a high station and he's been removed from it. And the second said, yes, but do you know for what reason? First replied that once Ibrahim bin Adam was in Basra. He bought some dates from a shop. When he took the dates and left, he noticed that a date had fallen on the ground. He thought that that date was his. He bought a bag of dates, and as he was walking away, he saw the date on the ground and thought it was his. Picked it up and put it in his bag. That was not his date. That was not his date. And because of him taking that date that was not his, he was removed from the lofty station in the sight of Allah. Allahu Akbar. When Sayyidina Ibrahim bin Adam saw this, he got up, left Baitul Maqdis, went to Basra, found that person who had taken that one date off and returned him one date. And then sometime later, again he was blessed that he saw them same twin angels. And one of them said to the other, is this the same Ibrahim bin Adam that's been returned to his station? And when the angel said yes, and he said he was returned, why? Because he returned that date. This event that took place, there's many motherly pearls in there for us. Number one, the saints, they have a unique status. The pious people of the past, they had a unique status. That when they committed a sin, they were made aware of it. You know, the problem is that when we make a sin, we make that many sins, we don't even know what we committed our sin. But when they were made a sin, they were made aware of it, and they were given the opportunity to repent from the sins that they committed. And Allah Azza wa Jalla said with regard to them that indeed those who fear Allah, whenever a temptation from the devil touches them, they become alert at that very moment and the eyes open up. And in our lives nowadays, when a temptation to commit a sin comes in front of us, yeah, okay, golden opportunity, we'll do this, we'll do that. We don't think twice about it because we haven't got that closeness to Allah, that we have that part in our heart that says, look, you're doing something wrong. There's a time in our lives where our nafs tells us that we are doing something wrong, but then we commit so many sins that it doesn't affect us. Somebody once gave me an example. He said that when you get a brand new car, 0-meter car from the showroom, it comes out. Every day you go out and you look at it and you see a little mark. You clean the little mark on it. And then if it's got a little scratch on it, you'll phone the garage, you look, it's got a scratch, and you'll come out and try and polish it. And if it's got a little bigger scratch, you'll go and get it repaired. And you'll maintain that car so it's pristine. But as that car gets older, and it gets 1 scratch, then 2 scratch, then 3 scratch, then 4 scratch, then it gets dense. And you don't look after it the same way. You're not polishing it now. You're not cleaning it now. You're not looking after it now. You're not taking it to the workshop to get it repaired. Our heart is the same way. There's a time where our hearts were, you know, when you commit the first sin, you feel it, but after that you just... And this is why they say, like, for example, like serial killers and these sort of people, the first person that they kill is the hardest. After that, they don't feel anything. And it's same with people that commit the sin of drinking alcohol. The first drink is the hardest. After that, they don't feel anything. The first time they commit adultery, they find it hard. After that, they don't feel anything. And that is the problem with our nafs, that we commit these sins and we don't feel anything. But we also learn from this the importance in our deen about buying and selling. That he bought X amount of dates and he took 1 extra. And he found out about the fact that this affected him and he went back. Now the question I want to ask you today is, would we do that? I've seen people are going to shops, and as they go into the counter, they pick up some almonds and they start eating them. You know, they'll pick up a banana and they'll start eating, and then they're not paid for it. And we try to get freebie goods, and we say, no, we're just testing it. We're just testing what your almonds are like. We're just testing what your grapes are like. We're just testing what the banana's like. Unless the shopkeeper gives you permission to pick up that banana, pick up them almonds, pick up them grapes, or whatever it is, you have no right to pick it up to test it. And then you don't pay for it. This is haram in Islam. And nowadays we don't seem to care about it. And when it even comes, when we come to the buying or the selling, we don't care about it. Nowadays, we don't care if we sell someone any faulty goods. We don't care if we sell anybody damaged goods. To the extent that we don't even care if we sell people stolen goods. We don't care anymore. You know, there's a saying in English, I'm all right, Jack. As long as I'm all right, I don't care about anybody else. But this is not what our deen teaches us. Our deen teaches us that in our deen, it is a complete code of life. And the complete code of life covers everything. It covers transactions as well. Dealing with people, buying things from people, selling things to people. Our deen teaches us. And the one thing that teaches us is to be honest. The famous Tabi, Sayyidina Wahab Rahmatullah, stated that there was a person from Bani Israel who repented for all of his past sins. He continued worshipping Allah Azza wa Jalla for 70 consecutive years in such a manner that he fasted during the day and he stayed awake at night. He never had luxurious food. nor did he take any comfort from shade. When this worshipper passed away, someone saw him in a dream and said, how did Allah Azza wa Jal deal with you? He said, Allah Azza wa Jal took account of my actions and he forgave all my sins except for a piece of wood that I'd used without the owner's permission to pick my teeth. Due to this, I'm still being held back from entering paradise. Now, how many examples can we give like that? Where we take things without permission. We use things without the owner's permission. You know, in Sunnah even gives many examples that when you go into a takeaway or a restaurant, or you go somewhere to eat, and they give you a tissue to clean your face after the meal. And what some people do is they pick up 10 or 15 and put them in the pocket. Yeah? Then tissues are there for you to use when you're there. Not for you to go and fill your kitchen cabinet at home. It's haram for you. Same with other things. Yeah? It's there to use there. And people pick up the sachets and the sauces and all sorts of things and put them in the pockets and take them home. How many times do we do this? Even to the extent if you go to someone's house and you, for example, the toothpick, you need to ask their permission. Can I use the toothpick? Can I use anything in your house? But we do it without asking. And we don't realize that this is going to be a burden for us on the Day of Judgment. Transactions hold a great importance in Islam. And we see from this that being careless in buying and selling can lead to eating each other's wealth unlawfully, which means filling one's stomach with that which is forbidden, meaning you are eating haram. If you're buying incorrectly, you're selling incorrectly, you are eating haram. And that's something that we need to be very, very careful about. The final Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, verily in the body there is indeed a piece of flesh. When it is sound, the whole body is sound. And when it is corrupt, the whole body is corrupt. Verily, it is the heart. And it has become evident from this that the most important organ in our body is our heart. When the heart is rectified, the entire person becomes righteous. And when the heart becomes corrupted, the whole person becomes corrupt. The thing that purifies the mirror of the heart the most is lawful sustenance. Do we even think about where we're getting our money from? You know, you've got a business, you've got a shop, whatever it is you've got. Many times I've seen it on Madani Channel that get your business scanned. Get your business scanned. By who? By the muftis. Go and sit with the mufti. This is what I'm doing. I'm buying this, I'm selling this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. Is it halal? And if they give you the green light, marhaba. But what happens is we've got this little mufti in our hearts. You know, we don't want to ask. We're scared of asking because we know if we ask, we might get rejected. So you know what? This little mufti is saying it's okay. It's okay to do this, so I'll do it. And deep down we know that we're committing the sin, but we just comfort ourselves. You know, it's okay. Who are you kidding? You know, they say lying is one of the gravest sins. Lying to other people is sin, but when you're lying to your own self, what damage are you creating yourself? Sayyidina Umar bin Salih rahmatullah said that once I went to the court of Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal and asked him, O Imam, may Allah have mercy upon you, how does one attain a soft heart? Upon hearing this question, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal bowed his head for a while and then lifted it saying, my son, lawful wealth softens the heart. Lawful wealth softens the heart. This is what we need to think about, our income. In Islam, there's many hadiths of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that when you speak the truth, then you'll be known as a truthful one. When you speak a lie, you become known as the dishonest one. So those people, I'll send those people to the people that I think are truthful. I'm not going to send you to someone that is dishonest. And so when you are truthful in the way you live your life, then inshallah you'll get the blessings in it. A lot of people have this mindset that, look, you know, I cannot run a business unless I lie. I cannot run a business unless I lie. And so you see people that will say, you know what, how much is this? Oh, I want, you know, we don't do much haggling here in the UK, but they say, how much is this? Oh, it's £20. I'll give you £10 for it. Because it costs me more than that. I can't sell you for £10. It costs me more than that. And you continue haggling and haggling and haggling, and eventually he'll give it you for £10. Now, either he's making a loss or he's lying. And more than likely, he's lying. He's not going to make a loss. He's not going to sell it for less than what he paid you. But this is what happens in business. So many people lie. Why are you lying? To make a few pennies. So many times will people come to you, so for example, if you've got a mobile phone shop, someone will come and look at the phone and you say, well, yeah, this is okay, but you know what, I'll just go down and see his shop. See what phones he's got. No, don't go there. He sells you stolen phones. You buy a phone of him, 2 weeks later, it'll fall apart. Now you're lying, slandering, backbiting, committing all of these sins. Why? For a few pennies. For a few pennies. Put your trust in Allah. But unfortunately, we don't, and as a result of that, we commit all of these sins. With regards to being an honest trader, the Prophet of Allah ﷺ said, a truthful, honest trader, he will be with the prophets, the truthful and the martyrs. Allahu Akbar. The formula is there. The recipe is there. You need to be honest. You know who provides us with our rizq? Allah. If we have this iman that Allah Azza wa Jalla is going to provide us with our rizq, why are we going after haram? You know, if it is in your destiny to become a millionaire, if it is in your destiny to become a millionaire, you have a choice. Halal or haram. And if it is not in your destiny to become a millionaire, you still have a choice. Halal or haram. Whatever's in your destiny, you will get it. Allah will provide for you. But you need to have that iman inside you, that tawakkul inside you, that Allah will provide for me. And I need to go after halal earnings. But unfortunately, we don't. In our business dealings especially, the way we deal with people, the way we fiddle people, and once they've gone out the shop, we think, you know, I got away with that one. There's a hadith of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, indeed, all traders will be resurrected on the day of judgment as transgressors, except for those who are pious, righteous, and truthful. How many times when you're selling something, you'll hide. You know, there's a fault in the car and you don't want anybody to know about it. Is there anything wrong with the car? No. If you want to hide it, at least don't lie. Just say, well, it's there. Whatever it is, you check it. But by lying, say, no, it's perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. Engine's perfect. Gearbox perfect. Suspension's perfect. Nothing wrong with it. Family car. Been servicing it every 6 months. You've never serviced the car in the last 10 years. And you're lying. Why are you lying? Just stay quiet. Look, there's the car. You check it out. Whatever you think. Instead of lying. You know, and another thing, people in the past, the barakah that they used to have is in speaking the truth. There was one pious person, he used to buy and sell material. And he got some material, and he found that there was a mark, it was a defect on the material. So he said to his salesman, look, when you come to sell this material, tell the people. Whoever comes to buy it, say, look, it's got this defect. Tell them the defect. Don't hide the defect, tell them the defect. Sometime later, he saw that material had gone, and he asked his salesman, look, did you tell them? And they said, no, I didn't. And what he did is the amount of cloth that was sold, all of that cloth, the money that he earned from that, he gave it all away in sadaqah. You know, but nowadays we don't think twice about halal and haram earnings. You know, we only think that halal and haram is food. Has it got that suitable for vegetarian sign? Okay, otherwise forget it. That's all we think about. If the shop's got a halal sticker, okay. But what about our income? What about where we're earning our money? How we're earning our money? What we're doing with that money? How we're spending that money? Do we ever consider that? And if a halal morsel enters into us and enters into our children, it'll affect them. And nowadays we wonder why our children are going away from the deen, our children not reading the salah, our children not respecting the parents, they're not doing anything. You're feeding them haram. You're feeding them haram, and then you wonder why. If you feed your children, you know, food that's gone off, for example, it's going to affect their health. You would never feed your children, you know, food that's gone off, because you know it will affect their health. Do you think that by feeding your children food that's earned from haram money will not affect them? It will affect them in ways that you don't want to know, but it will affect them, and you will pay the price. It is narrated by Sayyidina Jabir radiyallahu anhu, the last Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, may Allah have mercy on a man who is gentle when he sells, gentle when he buys, and gentle when he demands. Here, gentleness in selling means not trying to give the customer an inferior product, Gentleness in buying means paying the price promptly and fairly, not causing trouble to the seller. Another thing that happens, you get someone and say, look, we want this room painting. So they paint the room. And they say, can I have my money now? Oh, I'll give it you later on. I'll give it you tomorrow. I'll give it you next week. I'll give it you in 2 weeks' time. I'll give it you in a month's time. And we withhold that money. That's not jaiz either. The person, you did an agreement with him, you would pay him £500 to paint the room. Pay him the £500. Why are you making him wait? Making him come backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. Where's my money? Where's my money? Where's my money? You know, you should pay them as soon as possible. The pastor said that before a person's sweat dries, you should pay them the money that they're owed. But unfortunately, again, we don't do this. Imam Ghazali Rahmatullah Ta'ala stated, to walk the path of truth in trade is more difficult than performing voluntary acts of worship with consistency. Therefore, a saint once said, the truthful merchant, the truthful businessman, is superior in the court of Allah Azza wa Jalla than more than a devout worshipper. A person that spends all his time in ibadat and a person that is an honest, truthful merchant, this person will be greater in the sight of Allah Azza wa Jalla than this person. We need to be aware of these things. There's a beautiful hadith of the Prophet of Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, which can cover many aspects. The final messenger of Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is reported to have said that none of you has complete faith. None of you have complete faith until he loves for his brother that which he loves for himself. He loves for his brother that which he loves for himself. Every deed, every word, every transaction that we do not like for ourselves, we should not like for our brothers. We do not like being talked to roughly. Why are you talking to others roughly? We don't like being sworn at, so why are you swearing at others? We want to be treated kindly, so we should treat other people kindly. We don't want to be treated honestly, so why are we treating other people honestly? Even if everybody else around you is treating you unfairly, treating you unhonestly, treating you unkindly, does not give you a reason to do the same. If everybody is committing the sin, it doesn't make it right if you commit it as well. You know, they say in English, 2 wrongs don't make a right. No, they don't make a right. A wrong is a wrong, full stop. So if people are committing this sin, it doesn't give you the right to commit this sin. There was another pious person, Sayyidina Sari al-Saqti, rahmatullah ta'ala. He bought almonds for 60 dinars. And he put it in his ledger that I bought them for 60. And in his ledger, he used to put the price that he wanted to sell them at. So if anybody asked, he'd open his ledger and say, this is how much. And he put 63. That I want to make 3 dinars profit on this. Before he'd sold these almonds, the price of almonds went up. And the price of almonds for the amount that I had was now 90 dinars. So a person came to him, wanted to buy them almonds. Now he was a pious person. And he wanted for his brother what he wanted for himself. So he said to his brother, this person that came to him, I'll give you for 63 dinars. The person was shocked. And he was also a pious person. He said to him, no. These are worth 90 dinars. I'm not going to pay 63. So this discussion took place between the two. This person wanted to pay 90. This person wanted to sell at 63. And in the end, this person said, if you're not going to take 90 off me, I'm not buying them. And this guy said, if you're not going to buy them for 63, I'm not selling them to you. How many of us would do this? Nowadays, what happens is the person that's selling wants, and the person that's buying wants it for free. You know, my father used to sell cars and people used to come and see the cars, and I could see that the person that was coming to buy the car wanted it for free. But obviously my father wanted to sell it for as much as he could get. And that's the way we become, that we don't well wish for each other. We don't look out for each other. We're not willing to help each other. And wouldn't it be great if, we said to someone, look, I got this car cheap. I got this product cheap. I'm selling it to you cheap. Don't worry, I've got it cheap. That's why I'm selling it cheap. But no, we get it cheap. We want as much profit as we can. We don't want to help each other. We don't want to look out for each other. And again, and it's not haram to make a lot of profit. If you'd have sold it at 90, them almonds, there's nothing haram in it. There's nothing haram in that person selling it at 90. There's nothing haram in you doubling your profit in a car. I'm not going to say it's haram today. What I am saying is, when do we look out and help each other? You know, when do we say to our brother, look, I got it cheap, I'll sell you cheap? Never. Why? Because we're just looking after number one. That's all the person we can. We don't care about anybody else. We don't care about what is going to happen to anything at all. I'm just going to finish with 6 Madani pearls about earning halal income, and then inshallah I'll finish. The Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that there is paradise for those who earn halal. Paradise for those who earn halal. Seeking a halal sustenance is an obligatory act after the performance of other obligations. It is obligatory for both the employer and the employee to learn the Sharia rulings relating to employment according to the need. If they do not learn them, they will be sinful. Like I said to you early on, get your business scanned, get your job scanned. Do you know that you are earning a halal income? At the time of hiring an employee, it is necessary to specify the employment period, working hours, salary, etc. Nowadays, oh yeah, come on, start work. And at the end of the week, he's not paid what he was expected because you didn't agree initially how much to pay him. Everything should be beforehand. You know, in friendship, in all these things, it doesn't work like that. No. Agree at the beginning. This is how much you're going to get paid. This is what's expected for you. These are the hours that you're going to work. And this is what we're going to pay you. It is sinful to use fake documents and certificates in order to gain an increase in wage or a promotion in the job. Again, I've had aspect. I'm an engineer, and in my life, I've seen people that have had fake degrees, fake certificates, you know, fake CVs saying that this is the experience that they've had, that they've worked 15 years for an engineering company. But in fact, 15 years they've been driving a taxi, but they've said they're working for an engineering company, and it looks good on the CV, and they get the job. You're lying. Yes, you've got the job, you made a fool out of them. You made a fool out of them. And again, on the day of judgment, when Allah Azza wa Jal questions you, what are you going to say on that day? My dear Islam brothers and viewers of Madani Channel, in today's short speech, we've emphasized the importance of having an halal income. And every one of us tries to earn our income. We all try and earn money. So this is something that affects all of our lives. And by coming to these gatherings in Dar Islami, these weekly ijtimas in this building and all the buildings around the UK, we learn these things. These are the things that we need to learn to protect ourselves. Because shaitan is out there trying to take your iman away from you. He will use all these things to such an extent that you won't think that you're doing wrong. You think it's okay. He's doing it, he's doing it, he's doing it, so it's okay. I remember many years ago when the lottery came out, and someone said, oh, well, everybody's doing it, so if everybody's doing it, it's okay for me to do it. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Just because everybody's doing it doesn't mean to say it's jaiz. You need to find out what is halal and haram. And I'd just like to mention to our viewers on Madani Channel that alhamdulillah we are in Fizana Medina in Wembley in London. And many of you may have seen a promotional video with regards to this building. And here in this particular hall, the prayers take place 5 times a day. Madrasatul Medina is opening very, very soon. And inshallah, there'll be a high school also in this building as well. So I request all the people that are watching this program and all the people that are here to continue to support the people that are financially running this building. I know they're struggling a little bit, but inshallah, it is the work of Allah and they will get through it as well. I pray to Allah Azza wa Jalla, if I've said anything wrong, may Allah Azza wa Jalla forgive me. And I pray to Allah Azza wa Jalla that Allah give me and you the ability to think about what I've said, to act upon what I've said, and to pass this message on to others as well. Ameen bi jahi nabi. Sallu ala al-Habib.
Mubarak for you, it's my prayer. May you keep ascending success. Stay, Mubarak for you, it's my prayer. May you keep ascending success. Stay.